Call the team. Mike Pinfold Plumbing and Drainlaying Limited. Mike has been our sponsor since the very beginning. From Quick Fix Time.
Sports presents a live Huddy.
Tēnā koutou katoa, no mai, haere mai. And apologies for the delay, folks. Unfortunately, we've had one of those days. It could be Mother Nature related, it could be anything, but the audio, the internet is now finally working. So you'll be able to hear us here on Huddy Sports YouTube. It's just taken a while, but we're finally underway. Internet's behaving itself. So it is currently 21 points to 10 here on Evans Bay Park for this round 3 match between St Pat's Town and Scots College. A month ago, these two played each other, and the score was 80 points to 22 to Town that day. Different story today. It's a lot closer here. It's a free kick against St Pat's Town. Our referee today is Colin Tapohi, and joining me in co-commentary today is an old boy of St Pat's Town and currently a referee who's just having a bit of time out from the game, Danny Cameron. Danny, your thoughts on the game, because you'll be watching it more than I have while I was trying to get the internet working.
Yeah, thanks, Brad. Obviously, Scots have a strong win behind them, and they're definitely using that to their advantage. Hopefully they can use it a bit more over the next 10 minutes that they have it left.
So now they're going to have a scrum feed here, knock on against St Pat's Town, centre field, 10 out far outside the 22, live here on Huddy Sports YouTube, and it is pretty much winter has finally arrived in the capital city. We've got a polar blast to the south here at Evans Bay Park, and there's a lot of people wrapped up warm today. Danny, isn't there? So as mentioned, score is 21 points to 10. St Pat's Town in the lead as we have a bit of a breather from the wind that has been attacking this commentary box. We're facing towards the southern end of Evans Bay Park. Oh, that knocked on there at the side by the number 6 there for St Pat's Town, that being Raphael Metric, only year 11. His father, Jeff, was on the first 15 in 1984. Just down on the touchline there, has gone into touch. And it'll be a line out for Scots College, 10 away from the 22 eastern side of Evans Bay Park. And Danny, your thoughts on this game? Scots are actually being quite competitive today.
Yeah, they have. Obviously, with the strong wind, they'll be wanting to use that as much as possible. But they're looking good. Not too many errors, but also Town are doing their job well when they have the ball in hand.
Well, Scots now taking it close to the line. They claim they've got the try. That try has been awarded. Well, Colin Tapohi is happy, and Scots have hit back there, Danny.
Yeah, good set-up try there from Scots, and they'll be happy with that to get that extra 5 points on the scoreboard.
So 21 points to 15 as we're approaching the end of the first half. There's a battle between 5th and 7th on the table. Both teams with 1 win and 1 loss. Scots last week defaulting to Wellington College, and St Pat's Town played Wellington College in round 1. And they narrowly went down that day on traditional day. They ended up having a good win over Wairarapa College over the hill last week, St Pat's Town. Dan, it's always a tough place to go over the hill, over to the Wairarapa and play Wairarapa College.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, always tough for the Wellington teams over there.
Well, that is half time, and yet again, apologies folks, we did have some internet and audio issues. They finally have been addressed, and we'll no doubt bring you some better coverage in the second half. We have got a recording, so we'll try and add it in after the game finishes to ensure that you'll be able to go back and actually watch the game properly. So apologies for the internet and the audio issues, but we finally got those sorted. Just a few phone calls to the powers that be. So half time here, it is 21 points to 15. The home side, St Pat's Town, ahead of Scots College. Welcome back, folks. Half-time is coming to an end, and it is 21 points to 15 to the home side, St Pat's Town. And just by saying that, the heavens have opened up here at Evans Bay Park. The rain has arrived for the second half, and Danny Cameron, it is pretty much like being in Antarctica here today. It is freezing cold.
Yeah, I might have to get a pay rise for this stint here, Brad, actually.
Danny, you work for a massive accounting company. You could help sponsor the broadcast. So here we go. St Pat's Town, this time we're playing to the eastern side of Evans Bay Park. And we'd like to thank Gillian Holmes, the sponsors of St Pat's Town Rugby, and all the other sponsors as well that help run a very successful rugby program here. So the second half underway. Colin Tapohi gets us underway, and Scots College outside their 22 received the ball into the hands of Thomas Shortall, and he has been brought down, the young year 11, and they've been penalised. Scots coming off their feet, and St Pat's Town have an opportunity to send their lead. Tell us about that penalty there, Danny. I know you're not refereeing this year because you've got a few things on, but tell us what that penalty was for.
It looked like it was either side entry or going off his feet at ruck time. Just came through and didn't maintain his body weight, so been penalised for it.
Scots College this afternoon are out with the services of Brandon Lowe. He unfortunately woke up a bit ill this morning. But the Scots team here today have been putting in a bit of a fine performance. They're under pressure now as they're down in their own 22, and St Pat's Town are going to have a line out roughly about 10 outside the eastern touchline. And Danny, it is extremely cold here today.
It is. I don't know if I can feel my face anymore, but that's all right.
Well, Colin Tapohi just marshalling back the back line for Scots. Donika McNamara throws this into the line out. They put the ball down into quarantine, and they look to drive. Reserve halfback Jaden Castley is on. He actually started against Wellington College on traditional day as they look to charge it forward more. This is good momentum building here for the Catholics. They look to lunge. They've scored, and Colin Tapohi agrees. As we have a look at that replay, it was built up well, that line out drive, and it's going to be Donika McNamara that has scored the try. So, Danny, you're an old boy here of St Pat's Town. Tell us about your time here and what was the first 15 like during your 5 years?
So I was here 2015 to 2019. Obviously, 2015 was a very strong year. I believe we won the Premiership grade, actually. Then we went through a bit of a patch of just making the top four and not quite making the final. And then 2018 and 2019, very successful years. Unfortunately, we couldn't win the final in any of those, but definitely remember that game, the semi-final against Scots College in 2018, I think it was.
That's right, 2018. Yuri Kai with the impressive try that won the game that day. Also, these two teams played in the 2015 final. St Pat's Town winning that day with the likes of Billy Proctor in the team. He's now gone on to be an All Black. Restart here by Bavel. Down into the 22 as St Pat's Town rumble it forward through Connor Maxwell. Messy ball at the back, and unfortunately all that rain that's just poured down in the last 5 minutes has resulted in a knock-on for St Pat's Town and a scrum 5 outside the 22 western side of Evans Bay Park. Of course, there's a lot of other games on today around Wellington Club Rugby and First 15, but there was a massive result today, Danny, in First 15 Rugby. Super 8. Palmerston North boys went up to Hamilton boys in Hamilton, and they won 21-19.
Wow.
Impressive. Apparently, I think the rumours are it might have been the first time in 14 years.
Wow, yeah, that's a very good win for them. And it'll be interesting to watch that competition, especially considering how that ends up often being a very competitive side in the top 4 at the end of the year.
So fed in here by Focus. And it's turned over on the looks of it by St. Pat's Town. But unfortunately, in first 15 rugby, there is the 1.5 metre push. Which, of course, once you go past that 1.5 metre push, you're not allowed, you can't go any further. And the domestic safety law variations also under 19 rules as well, isn't that right, Danny?
Yeah, I believe it falls under World Rugby under 19 at college level, the 1.5 metre push.
90 degrees as well on the wheeling.
45 at
45,
college, yeah.
Oh, 45. Well, it's been a while since I refereed, Danny. So laws keep changing all the time. Fed in here by Andreas Focus at the back. Gives the ball out to his second 5 and Twitter. Now they press forward again. Wrestling hard here for Billy Vanua. Cosgrove grading good meters, but losing possession of the ball. Picked up here by Donika McNamara. Still 10 outside their own 22. Challenging conditions indeed. All round. Comes back to Dakota Silva, who had a strong game against Wellington College 2 weeks ago. Young first 5, only year 12. Hails from the Northern United Club. Now, both teams today are playing for the Willie Leota Tangnor Memorial. Of course, Willie Leota was last year the coach of St. Pat's Town First 15 and previously had coached the Scots College First 15. It's going to be a special presentation after the game for the presentation of the trophy. And unfortunately, it was during the school holidays last year when Willie passed away. A real loss for Wellington Rugby, Danny. And looking here, St. Pat's Town are doing mass changes here, Danny.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how Scots managed to keep up with the new players on the field. And it will be interesting to see how much new energy the new St. Pat's players bring on to the field.
Well, a few backs and a few forwards having a bit of a breather. Imagine they'll be getting the jerseys on and the woolens on very quickly. Jersey 4, one of those players going off, Remy Fitzimanu. I'd like to thank his father, Nick Fitzimanu. He's an old boy of St. Pat's Town. He was in the first 15 from 94 to 96. Now his young boy, year 12, is playing for the first 15. Nick was a bit sore this morning, Danny. He played in the Jerry Collins Memorial match out at Jerry Collins Stadium last week. Who thought Thursday, 10 years ago, Jerry Collins passed away. Another town old boy.
I'd say there'd be a few sore bodies from that today.
So the kick has found touch in real challenging conditions here at Evans Bay Park. It'll be a line out for St. Pat's Town. 5 inside the 22. New hooker on as well for Herman Tuia. On for St. Pat's Town. Good crowd here at Evans Bay considering the weather conditions, Danny. It is absolutely miserable and freezing cold.
Yeah, these two schools always have good support behind them, don't they?
Knocked back towards Scots. Picked up well there by Andreas Focus. Big wow pass into the in goal. And that kick has safely gone into touch, and it's pretty much smack bang where St. Pat's Town had their last line out. So 26 points to 15 to St. Pat's Town in this round 3 match. Oh, lost again at line out time, but knocked on by Scots. Ball rolled into touch. And Colin Tapohi is going to rule this as a scrum for St. Pat's Town. And I think in weather conditions like today, Danny, you'd rather have the scrum than take the line out.
Yeah, definitely. The hookers will be definitely more keen to go into a scrum than throw that ball in straight at a line out.
And of course, we'll give you some scores from around the grounds today as well. Do our best with the first 15 competition. So St. Pat's Town with Jaden Casley to feed this line out. Some other scores from around the grounds. St. Pat's Town charge forward. A good run here again by Kafatolu. push and shove down to the back play. Big fend there by Augustino. And now they're rumbling towards the line. Colin Tapohi looks in and awards the try. And it's another try there for St. Pat's Town, Danny, and the big forwards making a statement.
Yeah, another good try there from St. Pat's, just keeping the ball in hand and making the most of their opportunity in the 22, which is really good to see.
So excellent build-up by these big forwards. So the Town First 15 last year was a relatively young team, and most of these boys are still here, and they're going to be a serious threat in the Premiership. I know they fell short to Wellington College in the traditional day, but they've got some real talent out here today as the conversion is successful. 33 plays 15. And Danny, of course, I think later in the season, they might be a decent threat to Silverstream.
Yeah, that will always be a good traditional at the end of the year. Always exciting to watch that game. A lot of history behind it as well, so always brings another layer of excitement to it.
Well, some other scores from around the grounds. It was a big upset here, Danny. Refcule have beaten Hibs 10-7.
Yeah, no, they're going to be a real threat this year, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're a top 4 school.
Silverstream are beating St. Bernard's 29 points to 3. Of course, the score here is 33-15. And no other scores at the moment. We haven't got a score from some of the other ground games at the moment. And of course, earlier in the week, 74 points to 3 was the Rongotai Wellington College score. Wellington College winning that game. That too was also played in pretty horrendous conditions, torrential rain. Outside the 22, good charge here by Ioane Augustino. Good tackle that time there by Ipele for Scots. Slowing down the advancement of these Towns forwards. This is a great charge here by the captain, Lapole. Another one that comes out of Norths. He's a big fan of Roald Dahl, according to a bit of a write-up on their page last night. What's your favourite Roald Dahl book, Danny?
I don't think I've read a Roald Dahl book, to be honest. I've watched the movies of one of them, I think.
You haven't read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
No, I've seen the movie.
Okay. All right, Danny. Some further education required for you, Danny. So, scrum feed here. 9 away from halfway. 20 in from the northern touchline here at Evans Bay Park. Scrum feed for Scots College as the rain from the south hits us again. St. Pat's Town put the push on, but they can't go too far. Focus. Fires it out. Good pass out to Favell. Oh, excellent work here. Passes out to William Marshall. Town played down in back play. Seth Young in jersey 22. It's his debut today, and he just looks like he might have picked up a bit of an injury, so we'll keep an eye on him. The alarm's out by Colin Tapohi. And it's going to be ruled an offside penalty.
Looks like a shoulder.
Yes, looks like not looking too well there for Seth Young. The medics run onto the field to attend to him. And we will have time off here to attend to that injury. Of course, St. Pat's Town this year, coached by Mike Tolava'a. The rector here, of course, is Mike Savali. He created history when he became the rector at St. Pat's Town, the first Pacifica rector. St. Pat's Town founded in 1885, the older brother school of St. Pat's Silverstream, which was open in 1931. And I think I was telling you before the game, Danny, that original plan was to close down the city school. And then at the 11th hour, they decided to keep the city school open, but by then all the uniform and all that had gone out to Silverstream, so they had to get a whole new uniform. That's where the royal blue comes from. St. Pat's Town would like to thank Ginny and Holmes, who are their sponsors of their rugby program. Have them on the front of their jerseys as well. So Ginny and Holmes, Great sponsors of St. Pat's Town Rugby. And Seth Young, unfortunately, has had to leave the field. He recently just came on for his debut, so hopefully his shoulder isn't too bad. Colin Tapohi gets play back underway. Be Thomas Shortall to throw this line out throw for Scots. This year they're coached by Dominic Berg. It's his second season as the director of rugby at Scots College. It's a free kick against Scots College at line out time. It looks like Urban Tui just giving a bit of advice there to Scots from line out time. This kick might have gone a bit too far. It hasn't gone over the dead ball line, but it's been grounded in goal, so it's got to be a goal line dropout here for Scots College. And of course, this field's going pretty much from west to east here, Danny, and in a day like this, it makes it more difficult to play on, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely harder to commentate in, staring straight into the wind.
Exactly right. Unfortunately, the ball's been knocked on there by Tangawai. So Scots have possession, but they're still not out of the woods yet. There's a bit of push and shove in the background going on here, so we might just have to keep an eye on that. First 15 pressure action on here at Evans Bay Park. Across the road's another big game as well. Club rugby today. Danny, Porniki taking on Huddle Boys Maris. Porniki had a good win over Petone last week.
Yeah, both teams will be desperate to win that. It will put them in a lot better position, especially with all the possible changes that might happen to finals at the end of the year. So both teams will be really keen to win that.
Well, we hope there's no changes to the final system. So Scots will have the line out, just short of halfway, directly in front of our commentary position. Well, Danny, that game across the road, you wouldn't believe it, but it's 40 points to 0 to Hutt over Porniki.
Oh, wow. Maybe that has something to do with the wind.
Possibly. Well, we just got a substitution happening. Jersey 17 on for Scots. And it'll be Toby McFarlane in his second season in the first 15 to throw this line-out ball in. Here they go. But it's a free kick again. Talk us through that one, Danny.
Yeah, just not straight at the line out. Not easy for the throwers today, and you got to feel for them a bit.
Exactly, so not straight is the call. Of course, there's a few new variations with the not straight at line out time, Danny.
Yeah, so as long as opposition player is jumping in the air, if it's not straight, it will be a free kick. If there is no jump from the opposition, then it'll be play on, whether it's straight or not.
Oh, here's an excellent run here by Augustino. They're into the 22 now, St. Pat's Town. But Colin Tapo here is blowing a penalty. He's ruled an interesting decision there, Danny. Looks like he might have taken a player out. Chased down by Scots. St. Pat's Town having to chase back. Charlie Carter, the vice captain, has made a fumble on the ground. And Scots are going to have the scrum. 12 metres inside Town territory. Difficult conditions. Probably glad a lot of you are probably watching this game at home. We do apologise for the start of the broadcast. Unfortunately, the internet decided not to be our best friend today, despite the fact it was all working well before the game. And it's working fine now, so it's great to be able to give you these brilliant pictures here for you this afternoon. So scrum feed now for Scots College. 33-15 is the score.
Looks like we're uncontested scrums now.
Yes, it looks like that way. So uncontested scrums. Here's Scots College, Edwin Va'a. He was in the 2023 team that won the Premiership that day. Now they stretch it out wide. Messi ball will come back for a penalty. Has ruled a high tackle against St. Pat's Town. So So we're finally, Edwin Va'a decides to go for the old-fashioned tap and run, crashing into the big St. Pat's Town forwards. 10 metres away from Town's 22. 33 points to 15 is the score. Out to McFarlane, and he's been driven back towards the 10-metre mark. Allowed to play on because he wasn't held. And now he's regaining those metres that he was pushed back on. Edwin Va'a again. Wrapped up well there by Tangawai. And Scots building nicely into the 22 now, but they potentially might be isolated. Over the top of the ball, and the penalty's been awarded. Excellent work there by St. Pat's Town. And that was the little fullback there, Charlie Carter, getting over the top of that one, Danny.
Yeah, really good turnover there. Straight over the ball, all within the rules, and he's been rewarded with the penalty.
St. Pat's Town deciding to go for the scrum rather than kicking it into touch. We're having to kick it into that southerly wind.
The uncontested scrum definitely brings in a new tactic for the teams, especially in this wind.
So Jaden Casley, year 12 at St. Pat's, fires it out to Silver. He bangs it downtown using that big wind. One bounce and over the touchline. And it'll be a line out for Scots College. 6 metres outside their own 22. Well, Danny, of course, you're not refereeing at the moment, having the year off, but how did you get into refereeing?
I think it was 2018. Hadn't played a winter sport for a while, so made the decision to go to rugby. Didn't really want to play it. Would get injured too quickly. So, yeah, gave refereeing a go.
Injured too quickly, you often get taken out as well as a referee, Danny. I mean, there was a game across the road at Kilburnie Park where pretty much nearly every player from the forwards in both teams jumped on you.
Yeah, it was wrong place, wrong time, but we lived to tell the tale.
So after a bit of a interrogation there by the referee, we're back underway. It's been overthrown and picked up by Tangawai, and the arm is out against Scots College through a high tackle. Ioane Augustino. Centre field. 5 inside the 22 now. They're building nicely here at Town. And they pick and go again. Oh, excellent drive. 5 away now from the line. Casley passes out to Tangawai. Scots hanging on grimly. Cosgrove had to get involved in there to bring him down. They're directly in front of the post now, just short of the padding. And the try's been awarded. And St. Pat's Town has scored there, Danny. As we look at the replay, it looks like, yes, he did. He got the ball right on the line. Excellent work there by Town, and that was the try scorer. Tangawai came up trumps there.
Yeah, yet again, another example of getting into their 22 and making the most of it. Something they'll definitely be wanting to get as much happen as possible today.
So 38 points to 15. That's the score now for the home side. Conversion by Silver is successful, so 40 points to 15 is the score now at Evans Bay Park, as a rare glimpse of the sun has opened up across Evans Bay Park, giving some warmth to the players, but no warmth to us in this embankment here at Evans Bay Park. Freezing cold looking into the southerly wind. So we're just waiting for the rugby ball to arrive. Of course, St. Pat's over the last pretty much 15 years has pretty much had to been rebuilt as a school, mostly with earthquake work. Danny, it would have been fun back in your day when you were a student here, having to put up for all the drilling of the piling of the K-beams.
Yeah, no, it was. Had to deal with the prefabs in the middle of winter, but it was all worth it.
And now the school's looking extremely well. Oh, this is a brilliant run here from Tuia. Brought down 12 outside the 20.
Done.
Stolen here by Cosgrove. And now Scots have the ball. Look to pick and go here through Billy Vanua. Ball's available for Scots. Slow coming. They got an opportunity to score their 4th try. Still 10 away from the western touchline here at Evans Bay Park. And this round 3 match of the Wellington First 15 Premiership. Live here on Huddy Sports. I can go again. Just by Ipele. It's loose ball. Looks like it's gone forward there, but play on, possibly, from the referee. No, he's ruled it a knock-on. And St. Pat's Town get their awards there, Danny. Good defence.
Yeah, something they'll be very happy about. Obviously, in this win, there'll be a lot of pick-up and goes. So, yeah, really good from them.
No scrum. Another uncontested scrum. You can tell how windy it is, Danny, that the players' dugouts on the far side are lying on the ground.
Yeah, this ground is unfortunately very exposed to the wind.
Of course, this ground, Evans Bay Park, is also home to Barra St. Pat's, the local rugby club here in the Wellington club competition. Silver bangs us down towards TJ Townley. And unfortunately, might have lost that. And it's been kicked forward. And there's an excellent run here by Johnson. Johnson can't get the ball. Big kick through by Carter. Can Carter go all the way? He's a juggling act. He hangs on and scores. He has scored an absolute beauty of a try. And if we look at the replay, he juggles it around with his feet like a soccer player. And he grounds it into the in goal. And the score now is 45-15, Danny.
Yeah, really good try there from, was it Carter? Yeah, really good try. Very good player, him. I watched the traditional on the at my work desk on the work computer. But no, he's a very talented player, and I think, is he year
12?
Year 12?
Yep.
Yeah, so real bright future there, and he'll be a real asset to St. Pat's over the next 2 years.
This Towns team, a lot of them are year 12, and so it will be good to see them again next year as well. I think they're going to be a real force in this competition. The conversion successful. Kicking boot on fire. So the score now is 47 points to 15. St. Pat's Town comfortably ahead. Just under 10 minutes to go here in this round 3 match of the Wellington First 15 Premiership for 2025. Here at Huddy Sports, St. Pat's Town want us to acknowledge their major sponsor, Ginny & Holmes. Been with St. Pat's Rugby Club for a number of years now, and they have them on the front of the jerseys here as Tuia marshalling forward. He was going to blow the whistle, Colin Tapohi, and now he does. And he was pulling a player out of the ruck there, Danny, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
So Silver. Looks to gain some good metres on this kick. He's got a mighty boot on him, doesn't he, Danny? Just a clean kick, considering the conditions.
Yeah, nah, that's a really good kick. And is he taking the conversions as well? Yeah, so he's got a very good boot on him from what we've seen.
At half-time, it was 21 points to 15. Score at present, 47-15. So St. Pat's Town having the better of the second half. Actually got a bit of a breather from the wind at the moment, Danny. Unfortunately knocked on by St. Pat's Town. Up to the marker at the front of the line out. And so Scots will have the scrum feed. He knows it too there, Ioane Augustino. A good opportunity for Town. Just knocked the ball on. You can even see, Danny, the plane's even struggling into the southerly wind.
Yeah, I won't want to be in the air today.
Yeah. Well, you don't want the Cook Strait Ferry either. No one fish and chips before you hop on the boat. St. Pat's Town putting pressure on Scots inside their own 22. Scots managed to get a few reinforcements back in time. Now they pass it out to Cosgrove. Cosgrove high up for the tackle. Now they pass it back out to Va'a. Bangs us towards the northern touchline. And pretty much St. Pat's Town will be having a line out smack bang right on the 22 back where they were before. Of course, this field, Danny, there's a few patches there where that line out has been formed where we did an under 85 game, under 85 national game here last year, and parts of the field looked like meteors had struck into it.
Yeah, unfortunately, when it gets a bit wet, it can get quite muddy, can't it, on this field?
Well, knock on both ways here, ruled Colin Tapohi. Scots will have the scrum feed. Just getting a bit stop-starty now, this game. That time there, I'll see what both teams were trying to do, but ended up looking a bit like players chasing after an AFL ball. So 47 points to 15. We've got roughly just under 6 minutes left in this round 3 match of the first 15 Premiership. Here we go. Out to the back line. Oh, good run here. That time there by Tuta. And Va'a looks to wiggle around. Gaining good 10 metres there. We're going to come back for a penalty. Offside is the call. And looks like another St. Pat's Tab player down here. Oh, that's actually looks like it's Silver who's down, and looks like he's holding his arm, Danny. He doesn't look too good, does he?
No, unfortunately not. Just in that missed tackle earlier, it looked like he got his shoulder in a bit of an awkward position.
Now Scots have been pushed right back towards their own 10-metre mark. It's been turned over here for St. Pat's Town. Casley has the ball into the hands of Tangawai. And these big forwards for St. Pat's Town are gaining good metres in this match. Silver's still down in back play. He is looking in a lot of pain. And Colin Tapohi coming back for the penalty. Offside is the call. Of course, some score updates from around the grounds. As mentioned earlier, Rathkill College, Hutt International 10 points to 7. Currently 62 points to 3. Silverstream ahead of St. Bernard's. The score here is 47-15 as we have time off here as Silver is being attended to by the medics. And of course, Danny, you'd remember that 2015 final very well between these two sides. Of course, Silverstream in the semi-finals were defeated by Town, and what was a great comeback by St. Pat's Town to win that game. And in the final, many thought Scots were going to win it, but unfortunately some players emerged, such as Xavier Newmere and Billy Proctor, that had a say in that final.
Yeah, no, and then there's always, of course, the finals day, the anticipation behind it, and teams seem to find a new gear for finals every year.
And what was the interesting thing about that match, Danny, as well, it was 20 years since St. Pat's Town last won the Premiership, and they also had the same two coaches. Glenn Donaldson and John Bishop coached that last win until 2015, and they coached it again. Ball knocked on there by Bataya. As this rain just comes in smack bang. horizontally into this commentary box. Absolutely grim conditions here at Evans Bay Park. And grim enough that we're going to have another uncontested scrum. So 47-15 is the score. Live here on Huddy Sports YouTube. Another game we've got coming up on Wednesday. The traditional between Wellington College and Silver Street. It should be a good broadcast. So, ball's been knocked on again. And Colin Tapohi, I think, wants a warm shower, and that has been ruled full time. And St. Pat's Town are the victors today, 47 points to 15. And Danny, your thoughts on that performance by the home side?
I thought they looked quite good in quite a few places. Obviously, this is a town team that has a lot of potential, and hopefully they can carry it on through the season.
Well, both teams huddling into their respective huddles. We've just been informed that the presentation won't be happening on halfway as it's too wet and too cold, and so they're going to take it into the green room. So fortunately we won't be bringing you that presentation, but it'll be a special occasion. St. Pat's Town, the inaugural winners of the Willie Leota Memorial. Willie Leota Town, old boy, coached the first 15 last year and also previously coached at Scots as well. Played for Wests in Premier Rugby. A real loss to the game in Wellington last year. But St. Pat's Town will win this match. 47 points to 15. It was 21-15 at half-time. Many thanks to Danny Cameron joining the broadcast. Hope you enjoyed your co-commentary debut. And many thanks to our cameraman, Tamati Richards, who's wrapped up like he's in the middle of the Antarctic. So there's been this round 3 match between Scots College and St. Pat's Town. St. Pat's Town the victors, 47 points to 15. I'm Brad Hudson. Ciao for now.
Brains, leaky pipes, don't let plumbing problems sideline your day. Call the team, Mike Pinfold Plumbing and Drain Laying Limited. Mike has been our sponsor since the very beginning. From quick fixes to full renovations, he's got the tools, the team and the know-how to get the job done right. First time, every time. Local, reliable and always on time. That's how Mike plays the game. Find Mike Pinfold at Pinfold Plumbing at extra.co.nz 027 430 4351. Mike Pinfold Plumbing and Drain Laying Limited. Also Google Mike Pinfold Plumbing and let the pros handle the flow.
Hi, Gavin Murphy here
And Cassie Murphy.
from G and Higton Funeral Directors.
Don't leave it up to someone else to tell your story. Do it now when you can enjoy being part of the conversation.
With a prepaid funeral, you can have music, readings and venue all chosen by you.
For your free funeral planning pack with everything you need to get started, go to our website at gnhigton.co.nz/pre-planning.
The Huddy Hui, Huddy Sports captivating sports show. The Huddy Hui covers Wellington Club Rugby as well as other sporting topics of debate. Tune in on YouTube during the rugby playing months as host Brad Hudson interviews rugby players and other sporting personalities across the Wellington region and the rest of New Zealand. Catch the Huddy Hui streaming on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and wherever good yarns are heard. The Huddy Hui live on Huddy Sports. Here at Huddy Sports, we love a good game plan, and when it comes to travel, our go-to is Louise Reddy from New Zealand Travel Brokers. Whether it's a sports tour, a family break, or that bucket list trip, she'll get you there stress-free with all the best deals around. She's local, she's experienced, and she backs the game like we do, and she's a great supporter of Huddy Sports. Look up Louise Reddy at louisereddy.nztravelbrokers.co.nz or email louise@louise.reddy@newzealandtravelbrokers.co.nz. Travel smart and travel like a pro. As here on Huddy Sports, we're always wanting to keep our content free on YouTube. So the idea of sponsors, we can promote you on live stream, our social media pages and our website. It's good to support the local community and helps keep Huddy Sport free for all to watch. So if you're interested to helping Huddy Sports, go to huddysports.co.nz or to our email address, huddysportsnz@gmail.com. Ciao for now.